Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to Around the Pound here at the X Pound. This is the second half of our Year in Review Awards. Hopefully, by now you've seen the first part where we did our Best of the Year Awards. That's currently available on the X Pound Pro Boards and on this YouTube channel. Check it out if you haven't. This is part two where we give our Worst of the Year Awards. So stay tuned for that. Joining us for the Worst of the Year Awards once again is Marcus Shadow from Showtime.
You.
From the Gaming Zone and the Comic Zone, Chris, aka The Mo.
Alright.
We have the part-time stay-at-home dad gamer, Richter Hammer.
People gotta eat.
Indeed they do. And while he was not able to join us for the Best of the Year Awards, he does have enough negativity to go around that he's joining us for the Worst of the Year Awards. Please welcome Aeon.
Hey, Shin.
Who's probably holding the new Nerf bazooka he bought. Okay then.
The Raider CS-35, boys and girls.
Of course.
In store now.
Indeed.
Of course, who couldn't tell that from the sound effect?
Exactly.
Fuck you, Mullen. Fuck you.
Anyway, so we're gonna kick this off. We're gonna make, because we have an additional person now, and the number doesn't work quite well in the order of reading the awards. We're gonna mix it up a little bit and try to read awards that are relevant to the subjects we review. So we're gonna open this up with Richter Hammer, who's gonna lead us off with the wrestling awards.
All right. So first up, as James said, we have the worst wrestler. And if you don't know, I can tell you his name in 5 languages. And I'm not going to because that's boring. And it obviously is Antonio Cesaro. If you have watched Raw, you would understand what I'm making reference to. And really, they just keep pushing him, and I have no interest in him. And he just, I don't know. I don't think he's very good, and he's not very interesting. His gimmick isn't very well thought out, and he just sucks, and I don't like him. So, bleh.
They have yet to explain his taunt, but I will give him this. On
His hand
Tuesday Night
bicycle thing?
SmackDown, he did a freaking Shoryuken, so I have to give him props for that.
How do you know? You weren't here for SmackDown.
I saw
He
him.
was here. Yeah, you saw the Friday one. You saw the Friday repeat.
Ah, okay, touche.
He jumped off the second rope. I was like, wait, did he just do a Shoryuken? And then they showed the replay of it. I was like, he did do a Shoryuken. He doesn't deserve that move.
Copy that indie wrestler.
Very much.
Indeed. I'll go next. Hashtag I agree with Richter Hammer. I also give it to Antonio Cesaro. I was debating between him and another superstar who I know is going to be named when I'm done, so I won't bring it up. But yeah, I just don't like Antonio Cesaro. His gimmick makes sense because, let's face it, professional wrestling has been using the evil foreigner gimmick since the fucking Iron Sheik and before. It's an established gimmick. Dude's a foreigner, so people hate him because he's a foreigner. So American hero, i.e. Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, what have you, comes out and beats them up. I think the biggest problem with Antonio Cesaro is he does not have a good face with which to feud. Because if he had for example, for those of you who might have seen his YouTube promos, if the USA guy were to premiere and start a feud with Antonio Cesaro, that would be fucking awesome, and I think they would both get over. But because Cesaro's just kind of floundering out there, he's got the United States Championship, he taunts people, and basically, he's fighting random ass people. Who the hell is he supposed to be feuding with now? I didn't even remember. That's some random. Who the hell was he feuding with? I don't even remember. They like tried. I read they were trying to start a feud between him and somebody. I vaguely want to say Orton. I'm not positive, but I don't think that's gonna work. Either way, he needs somebody who is, promotion of that all American thing, and that needs to be someone who can feud with him, and that to give him that good rivalry that will,
They're gonna feud him with Jack Swagger.
I was just thinking they could bring back Jack. They were fine tuning his gimmick. That's why they took him off TV. They're fine tuning his gimmick. He has a new hairstyle, so they could bring back Jack Swagger with his a slightly toned down American gimmick, but as a face, and push him to beat up Cesaro, and that could be effective potentially.
Or at WrestleMania, he could go against the American Badass to end the streak.
Except that nobody would buy tickets to see that.
I would just because it's Undertaker.
Well, yeah, because it's Undertaker. He would sell some tickets, but it's not,
I would
Who
just
would
see
win
Cesaro
match of
get
the year
tombstoned in
in the
5 seconds.
slams?
Well, there you go. That would be interesting. Honestly, I don't know. Personally, were it not for the whole issue of, currently being in TNA, I'd like to see Antonio Cesaro, come out and cut a promo about blah, 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 I speak 5 languages, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, well I'll break your ankle in 5 places.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the other one from TNA and bring back Mr. America.
That would be awesome too. That would be awesome too. But he just had another back surgery. I don't know if he can wrestle.
Neither can the guy who gave the award to, apparently, according to you
This
guys.
is true.
But I will
Yeah.
go on record as
No
saying
one would buy tickets for that.
I will go on record as saying before I say my one, I do actually like Antonio. He's kind of cool. He's not too bad. Unlike the next person, one I gave my award to, I gave it to obviously Ryback. Why? It's Ryback. Enough said. Like I said, it's Ryback. Enough said. Now it's on to yours, Marcus.
Well, I didn't want to copy you because I knew you were going for Ryback. Didn't really think about Cesaro because, well, who really cares about him aside from you? So I give my award to Vicky Guerrero because I think they squandered her this year. They really did. They had a decent thing going with, she was with Dolph and stuff. They were building her up as this big, like, this big power heel manager type character, this person who could get things done behind the scenes. And we were all talking about, well, with Lauren Ice being replaced, who's going to replace him? We were thinking Vicky Guerrero could. She did eventually get in that spot if people have been paying attention to Raw. But the way they did it just completely killed her character and just it made her even more annoying than she was before, if that's even possible.
To be
And
fair, she had no character.
Exactly.
No, I mean, even before this, she had no character. Her entire character revolves around saying the words "excuse me" really loud, and that's it. Oh, and screeching in a high-pitched voice.
Exactly. And they tried to actually give her a character, and it completely backfired because it completely killed the heel thing they had going with her. Because now she's not just a heel; she's fucking annoying, and she's just terrible in the role that they put her in because they didn't give her any support. Her alone, she's just no, just Vicky, worst, bad, no, go home.
Excuse me, princess.
Excuse me. And the dresses they put her in, oh my god, why is she wearing that shit? No.
It gives James Phoenix an excuse to cue the clip.
Touche.
Oh, you wish.
Richter?
Next one? Next category? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have the next category.
Yeah, well, I was just, okay. And
Bakada.
since Aeon doesn't really watch it, we will move on to worst wrestling storyline. And for mine, I gave it to the whole AJ Cena Vicky thing pre TLC, because they kind of made it better after that point, but before that, it was really bugging me because they had just from the perspective of, oh, they were, I guess having a relationship and whatnot, and whether or not that constituted an affair with, I know that other people had different opinions about that, but for me it was like, okay, well, if she's directly in authority over Cena, then yeah, that's a problem. But then they got rid of her, and that's when Vicky started harping on it, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter now. And then they put Vicky in the position of power when she was at that point in a relationship with Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It was really stupid to me that they're like, oh, we'll fix this problem by creating this exact same problem with different people. I was like, it just was so stupid to me. Thankfully, I felt like they did really take a lot of steps to fix it at TLC and beyond so far, but before then,
Sure.
it was terrible.
You didn't watch SmackDown this week, did you?
No, why? Did they
I'm
revert
gonna
back?
change your mind about that right now. I'm going to agree with you. That was the worst storyline, but the whole storyline sucks because on SmackDown, AJ revealed why she screwed John Cena at TLC.
Oh boy.
It's because he told her to stay backstage.
Hmm.
And she basically said, "You broke my heart, John." And I'm like, really? That's the best they could come up with?
To be fair with that, she is crazy and she has meant to be have been set off by the smallest little things.
Yeah.
So it's not completely out of left field.
I don't know.
Well,
Don't
also
say
Yeah,
they
it
don't
could
they
have been
broke up.
handled better
don't
though.
say don't say that word
Yeah.
over to AJ. She'll sick Biggie Langston on you.
Yeah.
No,
Well, they
she.
also broke up Vicky and Ziggler, which helps too, because then I feel it makes it less stupid than it
There's
was.
proof you could yell out that AJ is crazy and nothing will happen to you. Because on SmackDown, JBL said that he yelled out that she was fucking crazy at the announcer's table. Biggie Langston didn't do a damn thing. He just stood there.
I know, but
He doesn't want to meet the fury of the Bashams. Sorry.
that's because in the law of wrestling, the wrestlers don't hear what the commentators say unless it's a storyline specific thing. Like when Kane was going around mad about May 19th or whatever it was, when he was mad about that, the commentators could say, yeah, I have no idea why Kane's mad about May 19th. And yet, Kane never touched them, but if the wrestlers said it, he heard them.
That's
This is
fine,
true.
except for the fact that Biggie Langston was standing right in front of the announcer's table. You can't tell me he didn't hear JBL literally yell out, AJ is crazy!
Well, it's suspension of disbelief for the purpose of wrestling. And honestly, is does Biggie Langston really want to screw with JBL? Because if he doesn't get clothesline to hell, JBL's just gonna grab his cell phone, type the digits, and Ron Simmons is gonna come out and beat his ass. So
True. Well, Ron Simmons was backstage, but yeah.
yeah, exactly. He appeared in the other segment.
But yeah, no, that storyline was just terrible from beginning to where it is now. It's just no. It was a
I
good
agree.
idea, horribly executed.
I agree it was bad, although I will say it gave us some highlights. Like I absolutely loved
Oh, it did.
AJ pushing Cena off the ladder.
Oh yes, definitely. Oh, I love AJ. AJ was the best part of the entire feud. Anyway, Mole, Jim.
I'll let Jim go next.
Fair enough. For my worst storyline, in relation to it, I gave it to the earlier portion of that storyline. Basically, the whole AJ being removed as GM and Vicky being made GM, and then the whole I thought your cell phone messages, and then all that whole bullshit.
Ah, so you give it to the same storyline.
Pretty much, yeah, just the earlier segment, but basically the same storyline.
Okay.
I know there were worse ones earlier in the year, but that's what's fresh in my mind, and it's the fact that Raw's ratings at the lowest point like they've ever been ever pretty much confirms.
I was I was tempted to give it to another storyline, ironically involving the same wrestler. I didn't. I went with this one instead. I went with Brock Lesnar v Triple H. I hated that feud. I hated that feud because it was a case of Brock Lesnar is this big monster. Wait, what's going on here? Why is he constantly afraid of Triple H? Oh, I see. They're saying Triple H is now just a guy in a suit. He's nothing to be intimidated of. Wait, why is Brock running away? And then the matchup itself was just the dullest matchup I've seen for ages. The one I was tempted to, and it's an honourable runner-up, I was tempted
Brock
to give
Cena.
it to Triple H v Undertaker at for leading up to WrestleMania, with Undertaker cutting his hair like a teenage schoolgirl. But even that, as bad as that was,
in all fairness,
had Shawn Michaels in it, which made it more entertaining than having Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar running with their tail between their legs.
True, but in all fairness, that was inspirational because then Triple H did the same thing.
He has a point.
But anyway, yeah, for a minute I thought you were going to say Brock Cena.
No, I liked that one. Yeah, the ending may have sucked, but the feud itself was great with bringing legitimacy back, and the actual beatdown of Cena was just so enjoyable. Yeah, Cena shouldn't have won that, but it was built up well, and it gave us a cool ass match with blood and stuff.
True.
On you go, Jim.
Alrighty. So moseying right along, we're going to move on to the worst TV show, new or recurring. Like I said, most of us on this. Most of us don't really, I don't know about the others. I don't watch that many TV shows outside of the ones that we directly discuss on the show here. But honestly, mostly for the latter half of the year and the recent stuff, as I was just talking about, I actually give it to WWE Raw. Because I'm sorry, I love Raw and I'll always keep watching as long as it's on the air. I'm hooked at this point. But the ratings are at the lowest point they've ever been. A lot of these storylines are crap. I mean, they do good things once in a while. They bring The Rock back. They bring Brock Lesnar back. They do stuff every once in a while. But the problem is they've got their ratings dependent upon past stars, and it's that lack of ability to build new stars. Whether it's because they're just not giving them the right gimmicks, or it's because they're not pushing the right people. Daniel Bryan, I don't know, but
Or they're
it's
pushing the complete opposite. Right back.
exactly. So it's wherever it ends, they, really, if Vince would just retire and let Triple H run the company, I honestly think it would be a lot better. Because while Triple H might be an arrogant bastard, he seems to know how to run the company.
However, he doesn't seem to know what talent is, as I've mentioned in the past, he's the guy who wanted to bury both Edge and Chris Jericho.
This is true, but they were also directly in competition with him, so nowadays not so much. I mean,
How can you forgive the guy that wanted to bury your idol? Turn in your Jericho-holic card.
hey, not only did he not bury my idol, but my idol is now not only the first ever undisputed champion and a multi-time champion and the current record holder for number of intercontinental title wins, he's also a rock star. So Triple H can suck on that.
Really? We're
What's
calling
Triple H gonna
Fozzy a
what?
star.
Yeah, he sells a lot of albums. What's Triple H gonna come out to? Come out at a pay-per-view and sing with Motorhead?
Triple H wasn't a film. If you're going to call Fozzy music, I'm going to call Triple H's film The Chaperone a movie.
He was also in Blade 3.
He was.
He was, yes, but Blade 3 aside, the difference being that people actually buy Jericho's albums.
Triple H is fucking Stephanie. Check and mate.
Touche. I'll give you that. Anyway, so yes, but that's after that long ridiculous tangent. I give it to Raw because let's face it, the quality has gone drastically downhill, and I don't think it's too late to be saved. All they need to do is push the right people, and I think give them some better gimmicks. I think one of the biggest problems is nobody has real gimmicks anymore. Any gimmicks that exist are watered down to hell, and it's all just okay. Here's a dude who happens to feel this way, but he's still himself, and this is what he does. They're not, aside from people like the Funkasaurs, because look at it, they gave Brodus Clay a gimmick, and look what happened. He became instantly huge and popular. And it's random because it buried now, but he still gets a good pop whenever he comes out with the Funkadactyls. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of his Funkadactyls even won a Divas Battle Royal. So there you go.
The biggest
But I think
that seems like the WWE doesn't care about the fans. They don't care who's getting the pop and who's not. Because like Daniel Bryan comes out, gets like huge ass pops, gets some of the biggest pops ever, and then they go and fucking turn him heel and bury his ass. It's like, really?
hey, he's facing it and he's doing great with Kane. He's working his way back up there. As soon as that storyline ends and he goes solo again, he'll be right up there. But I digress. But yeah, that's really how I feel about the company. I think because back in the Attitude Era, some of the most memorable characters were people that had the weirdest fucking gimmicks that made no sense. But that's the shit that sticks with people that they want to see. They want to see a dude with supernatural powers come out and crucify somebody in the ring. They want to see
They want to
a
see
dude.
shoot fire, not go around saying, "I am the tag team champions."
Yeah, they want to see that. They want to see a dude come out in a mask that lives in a boiler room and beat the shit out of people with weapons and get thrown out of thumbtacks and off a cell and shit. I mean, that wouldn't happen today. A little too violent for today. But they want to see that there's those kind of random gimmicks that just didn't make any sense. They want to see a random dude come out with a parrot on his shoulder. I mean, that kind of just the most random stuff that makes no sense because those are the kind of things that stick with people over time, and those are the things that people remember, as can be practically attested to one of, if possibly the greatest superstar of all time, The Undertaker, who is The Undertaker because of that ridiculous at the time what would have been considered a ridiculous, and even Mark he said himself at the time he thought it was a slightly ridiculous gimmick, but he took it because you don't say no to Vince, and he got him into WWE, and that's why he is the legend he is today, because that gimmick worked and it stuck with people and they liked it. That's why certain people get over and certain people don't. If you have a gimmick, it works, and some people can get over as themselves. It works. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's a beer swelling Texan that swears and beats people up. That's
including
who
his
he is.
wife.
Oh, that's who he is. That's how his character got over. You know, to an effect, the same with John Cena. Basically, he's a nice guy that likes to entertain the kids and generally being that guy that, the guy that's a family friendly type of guy. He likes being that kind of person, and that's working for him as a gimmick. Sometimes people's gimmicks generally work. Sometimes they don't always work, and you got to tune them. For example, I think Randy Orton. I think if they drove Randy Orton back toward the insane gimmick, I think that would work a little bit better for him. Where he's doing the crazy head shit, he's punting people in the skull and shit. He'll turn and let him do that, and he'll pop back up to the top of the company again.
But wait, I thought, based on what they showed during that era, I thought who John Cena really was a street smart like rapper who was fresh from the streets, and that's who he's always been. And he grew up doing rap battles and stuff, like his DVD said.
In all fairness, that's also what the history of Vanilla Ice says.
Yes, keep watch, because we will be doing another Around the Pound later, where we will delve into the inner workings of WWE and why we think it's not doing so hot and what we think they could do to make it better.
I was not informed of that one, but I agree.
That's because I just made the executive decision about it, because you kept rambling on and on and on about it, and this is not a wrestling video.
Touche.
And I will say,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. And
I will say now that
next.
yeah, I was gonna say, I will say now that you've finished, James, I suggest Aeon. Would you like to go next, due to the fact you're the one that's not said anything for the longest time?
It's because he hasn't been here.
Fuck, Molly.
I meant because he doesn't watch wrestling, and everything up until this point has been wrestling.
Fair enough. Go ahead. What's your worst TV show? You can new, recurring, or both, whatever you like to do.
As the Toku guy, it's kind of obvious what my answer's going to be. Motherfucking Power Ranger Super Samurai!
Available now on DVD.
And Blu-ray. Rangers together, samurai forever.
No, I completely agree with Aeon.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fuck.
But what are your reasons, Aeon?
Yes.
Poorly and rushily translated version of Shinkenger. Watch Shinkenger. Don't watch Power Rangers Super Samurai. Watch Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. Same stories, better done. You just might have to deal with the fact you have to watch it subbed instead of dubbed.
Marcus, when did you start doing an Australian accent?
Oh, go fuck yourself, Molly.
No, I
Thank
was
you for-
making
thank
that comment because in our previous Power Ranger video, that's the exact same argument he made.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's exactly thing they got him called a Sentai elitist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
fair
good
enough.
This isn't 2011, otherwise I would have said bloody Kamen Rider 4s.
I will say though, I completely agree.
Koichi Sakamoto!
I said I will agree. Super Samurai is so horrible. I had to watch that with my niece and nephew. So horrible. Stuff like turning the Gold Ranger into a fish while Bulk and Spike newspaper that get crapped on by Bert. What the hell is this stuff?
Yeah, that was bad. That episode was not all that good.
And Gold Ranger is a bloody fisherman instead of a sushi seller.
But that's because
Golden.
no American kid would know what sushi is.
That's not totally true. Some kids do eat sushi, but
Yeah,
not
that's
nearly as many as in Japan, so it's understandable.
Yeah, they're making a fisherman work. Just. Oh, shall we just.
Hey, my name's Antonio! How you doing?
Well,
I want to suck him in the mouth with my iron fist.
well, how about this then, Marcus? If American kids don't know what sushi is, he now works at McDonald's selling the fillet of fish.
Oh!
Sure.
At least it's not Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
But
yes. But I can kind of agree with that. It's there's been better seasons, but Savant's getting back in the groove. They got something that pleased Nickelodeon enough to get it on the air. Now they can really go into Megaforce and really put out something that will
20th
hopefully please both
anniversary.
old fans and news.
You mean Mighty
I just
Morphin
wish-
Megaforce?
Pretty much.
Have you seen the pictures of them when they're going to Angel Grove High School? It's Mighty Morphin Megaforce. Trust me.
I have the pictures. I'm on the Power Force. I got them emailed to me before everybody else.
Oh, you're on the Power Force. So what you're saying is the only reason you're defending Super Samurai is because you're getting kickbacks.
No, I'm defending Samurai because while it might not have been good as other seasons, it had a couple of good episodes here and there. Particularly any episodes heavily featuring Rick Medina as Decker.
Oh yes.
I will say that.
Cole was a bad character, but Rick, oh yeah.
So just so I'm clear, you're defending it because while it was bad, it brought back a reoccurring star to help launch the show, which was the exact same reason you listed Monday Night Raw as being bad. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed anything.
You're right.
They
You got me.
brought back a previous Red Ranger to be the badass villain.
Yep.
Yeah,
They did. He was awesome, I'll admit.
It was slightly, yeah. I think they've had a couple of good episodes here and there, and the acting has definitely gotten better over the course of the 2 years. I definitely think it has gotten better, and not
Compared
everything
to
was.
Mystic Force.
Oh, but
He
not
and
everything was.
Hector David Jr.
Comic
were
Drive.
the two best parts of Samurai. Hector David Jr. is friggin' awesome.
Yes, he's very good too. As I
I
said,
personally liked Emily.
she's cute. I liked her too.
Foley.
I meant I liked her because I found some of the stuff she did hilarious. Like, while I don't like Spike, it was absolutely hilarious when she dressed like a drill sergeant and
That is a great episode.
and
Yes.
told Bulk and Spike about being a samurai. Oh, mate, I laughed at that. And when she's trying to be all tough to them, and then it suddenly goes straight back to the other group, and then she's back to being girly Emily. It was hilarious.
That is funny. I gotta say, there were some genuinely funny moments, and some of the acting was subpar, some of the ideas were kind of bad. They're getting back into the whole spiel of it, and I think it was a good establishing couple of seasons to get themselves back into it. It got a lot of kids back into it, which was important because they are the primary fan base, and it's going forward from here. They can start to appeal with Megaforce more back to us, the older fan base, while still bringing in the kids, and I think that's really going to be good for them in the future. But I will shut up on somebody else talk.
Before I pass up the chance to do this, Honore Dikedo!
Nice. Like I said,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like I said,
Damn you, decade!
yeah, like I said, I agreed with Aeon. Super Samurai was a horrible season, but do either Marcus or Rick Tor want to go next?
I already
I'll
went.
go.
I said it multiple times. Hashtag I agree with Aeon.
Okay.
Fair enough. Rick Tor.
Well, then mine's pretty quick. I obviously haven't seen many TV shows this year, or at least from this year. But I saw a little bit of The Walking Dead when my wife watched some of it, and I played the game, so I knew a little bit. And just watching the show looked pretty boring from what little I saw. So even though I only had a small glimpse into that universe of the show, I'm going to give it to that.
Although from what I've heard in your specific area of purview, I heard the games are awesome.
I've only played the first one, and it was really good.
I will
Really
say the comic fan in me wants to give a big rant about how wrong you are, but I will let it pass.
Well, the
Stay tuned
comics
for the
might be
next-
better than the
stay tuned-
TV show. I don't know.
Stay
No,
tuned
the
for the next Comic Zone where Kristen Mole rants about The Walking Dead.
No, the comics are good, but the reason the show may seem boring is it's not meant to be. Again, it goes back to what I mentioned with Zombie U. It's meant to be like survival. It's all about them surviving. It's the threat looming over them. So it's some episodes will be boring because it's not about the threat. It's about the survival.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I believe that leaves me.
Yes, it does, sir.
I gave it to Elementary. Oh my god! You take a character or a series or whatever you want to call it, a franchise like Sherlock Holmes. You turn Watson into a female, so people now actually have to ask the question, will they, won't they? Like some stupid American sitcom. You make Sherlock Holmes act like a cartoon character. You make the mystery so easy to pick out. Any retard watching would be able to figure them out within like the first 5-10 minutes. Oh my god, it's like the worst show. It's like, what if the people who wrote or helped do Jersey Shore suddenly discovered Sherlock Holmes? It's pandering to the absolute idiotic imbeciles. I hate that show. Fucking
To
hate
quote
that show so
ERB,
bad.
I had Alfred read your books. He told me they suck.
Yeah.
I'll crush your British nuts until they're bangers and mash. I've seen better detective work in Tango and Cash.
Yeah, yep, but like I said, I hate that show. It's ruining a British Idol, and I fucking hate it. It's like probably next year the one I'll probably give it to if it gets launched next year will be the upcoming CW Robin Hood. In which, guess what? They've turned another character female, Robin Hood. What the hell? Stop pandering to these fucking idiots. If you can't do Sherlock Holmes right, don't fucking do it. I'm done.
They basically Rule 63 Robin Hood, which is going to lead to a lot of Rule 34.
Yep. But
Mhm.
like I said, I'm done.
All right, that leads us to the worst film of 2012, and this one might surprise some people, but I gave it to The Bourne Legacy. Just, oh, that film was terrible. It was bad. Jeremy Renner was awesome. The chick in that was okay, but oh, the writing was so lazy. Half the movie was like newly shot flashbacks, or because it kind of took place during the Bourne trilogy, primarily during the third movie, and so they kept showing the flashbacks of like Pamela Landy taking the documents and faxing them and stuff like that, and they showed some of the court scenes of like what happened afterwards and stuff, but it's just they tried so hard to connect this movie to the Bourne universe that it ended up hurting the movie. And I do not like the character that Jeremy Renner played. Oh my god, because they're trying to tie this into Bourne, and this guy is more like a GI Joe than Bourne. He's not smart at all. Just he's more like a soldier than he is like a special ops agent, and it's just it's such a bad movie. But I'm done.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Ironically, I actually want to see that just for the same reason you wanted to see it, Marcus. I love the Bourne trilogy, so I'll probably check it out. And probably maybe even buy it, possibly to complete the collection, maybe. But yeah, I don't expect much.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Complete the collection because isn't he signed on to do at least like 2 more movies?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be doing a trilogy with him, and it's like,
Yeah.
they completely shat over the trilogy. I was just like, really? This is the best they could come up with?
Are you forgetting I'm a Star Wars fan? I have no problem buying a bad trilogy if I like the original trilogy.
Sure.
Then you're
Yeah,
going to hate my
Star Wars
choice.
just because with this movie they totally retconned half of the rest of the other trilogy. So
Yeah, in that case, Molly, you're going to hate my choice for this year.
Probably not, but go ahead.
I'll just try to remember. Who have we done so far?
Marcus.
Okay. Yeah. Just so we get mine out of the way, the 3D re-release of Phantom Menace.
I don't see why I would hate that. Like I said, I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't like the Phantom Menace, I don't like the Phantom Menace. I don't.
Yeah. Hey, I know Phantom Menace is 13 years old, but it was re-released this year in 3D, so I'd say it counts.
yep.
It's now 3 dimensions of shit.
Mm-hmm. I will counteract. I will counteract that by mentioning I don't own it anymore. For the longest time, I owned the PlayStation 1 video game of the Phantom Menace, and that was actually kind of a good game.
It was.
Primarily because in parts of that game there were escort missions, including ones with Jar Jar, where you could just kill him with your lightsaber and it would game over you, but it was still fun.
That's one of the things.
So
That's one of the things that makes the Lego Star Wars games so good. You can kill him over and over and over again.
No, what makes
Always
it
true.
good is the fact that there's an achievement for killing Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm going to save my judgment for Wreck-It Ralph when it finally releases on fucking Boxing Day here.
It doesn't release here till February, so I'm in the same court. I'm looking forward to that film. But
Wreck-It Ralph, I thought it released where you are already.
nope, doesn't release here till February.
no, it only released over here.
Yeah.
So,
Wreck-It
Jim,
Ralph, Wreck-It
Richter,
Ralph.
your choices.
You want to go, Richter, or you want me to go?
I don't really have one, just because of movies that were released this year. I think I only saw 2 or 3. So, and none of them I didn't think were bad. Now I will admit that the only possible one is tomorrow night I get to watch Amazing Spider-Man. So that has the possibility of being that, but I don't
No,
have one
It,
actually.
it, it will be the best superhero movie you've seen this year. Trust me.
I doubt that. So
I'm- I'm-
May I,
I'm-
we'll
I'm-
see.
may I have permission to kick him from the call?
You may.
Wait, me or
Douche.
No,
Marcus?
him.
You.
Okay.
No, why are you kicking Richter?
He doesn't like it. He said the Amazing Spider-Man might be bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
it might be.
shit.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
I was kidding, just because I like that film.
It's a good film.
I know. I didn't say it was
In
bad.
all
I
fairness,
don't
it
know.
does have Dennis
We'll see.
Leary in it, but he doesn't kill it. So
No, it kills him.
Does he steal all the jokes?
Yes.
um,
Well,
Okay.
kind of. Anyway, Jim.
basically gets to be a hard ass cop and shoot shit with a shotgun.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was drunk through this whole filming, but that's not that that's different from anything he's ever done. But
But your choice, Jim.
yes, did he steal that? Did he steal that from Bill Hicks too, Mo? Anyway, I give it to Men in Black 3.
Really? I thought you liked that movie.
Yeah, that was
I'll be
a
honest.
weak
Here's the
movie.
thing. Like I said, first of all, this award is first of all we have to give it to something we've actually seen, and I have only seen like 3 movies that came out this year, so that kind of hindered my choices. And the thing about Men in Black 3, I liked the movie. I thought it was good. It was good. It was not great. The problems I had with this movie. Spoiler alert. For those of you who may want to watch it on DVD. Anyway,
Blu-ray.
or Blu-ray. Um, the movie was okay. It did not have the feel of the earlier movies. Even the second movie, which most people generally agree is terrible, still maintained that Men in Black feel. It had a bookend on either end of the film, and it maintained that whole, there's a lot more out there than what we know about, and we are insignificant in comparison. And this new movie didn't have that, number one. And number two, number two, it felt rushed. And number three, it didn't have a lot of the trademarks that Men in Black movies typically have. I mean, we only saw the worms in one background scene. We didn't see Frank the Pug at all, which that's both positive and negative depending on how you look at it. We didn't have Tony Shalhoub back as Jack Jeeves, which pissed me the hell off. Because seriously, Monk is canceled. What the fuck's he doing? And
Wasn't
He's
he
touching
in
all the car
bloody
antennas as he's
Bayformers?
walking down the street.
exactly.
Wasn't
And-
Tony in friggin' Bayformers?
Was he?
Yeah, I think he did have a minor role in Bayformers. I think you're right. But
Yeah.
there's that, and then freaking what's the other thing? What's the other problem I have with this movie? Something specific. Yeah, the other thing was that the freaking I mean, I know he's had some real life problems, but they fucking write out Rip Torn. I'm like, really? He made the movie entertaining. Because Rip Torn played Zed, the leader of Men in Black, and literally the first like 5 minutes of this movie, that was oh yeah, Zed's dead. Like, wait, what? Like, okay, come on. First of all, I know he had some real life issues, and I think he got arrested, but come on, it's not like Zed would have been a major character in this movie anyway. Considering considering about 70% of this movie is spent in 1969. I don't think he would have been that big of a character.
69.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Not that-
Tony
not that-
wasn't in Bayformers. There's someone
not
else like him, though.
And I mean, not that what's him? I mean, so not that Emma Thompson did not do a good job as the new head of MIB. She did a great job in that role. It was hilarious. but it didn't quite feel the same without sarcastic old wise ass Rip Torn there cracking jokes anytime they walk into headquarters and screaming at the aliens and shit. It just that was something that always kind of made the movie for me. And I think also, I mean, I love the fact they said it in the past, and Josh Brolin did a great Agent K, a great Tommy Lee Jones, but he wasn't Tommy Lee Jones, and that was something else that always there was not as much of the chemistry. I mean, it was there, but not quite as much. So it was kind of fun to see, but it just didn't have that same feel. It felt like it was kind of rushed through. It didn't have the ambience of the previous movies, and honestly, while he was creepy looking, the villain was stupid. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm the bad guy. My name is Boris. Oh yeah, you're really intimidating there, buddy. You can shoot poisonous barbs from your hand. Ooh.
Do you want me to quote Hoodwinked? Like,
Sure, go ahead.
oh, watch out for Keith. Try
Yeah.
Boris.
Oh yeah, that's true. I have not. Yeah, that's note to self. See the sequel to that movie. But anyway,
It's an okay movie. Hoodwinked
yeah.
2
But anyway,
it was
yeah, I like Hoodwink. I have not seen Hoodwink 2 Hood versus Evil, but I'll see that later. But anyway, yeah. What's that?
Hoodwinked 2 is an okay movie.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, yeah, Men in Black 3, I liked it. It was okay. There's a cool little twist at the ending where they reveal that Kay and Jay have actually known each other for a lot longer than Jay actually knows about, and it's cool. But I just felt like it didn't have a lot of the ambience that had surrounded the earlier movies. They lost a lot of the Men in Black feel, and that that really annoyed me a little bit. That it didn't quite feel like a Men in Black movie. It was a okay movie. It was a terrible Men in Black movie. And I think they could do better, and I hope they do, because basically they've already greenlit 4 for all intents and purposes. So
Cool.
Oh, and the supposed theme was done by fucking Pitbull.
yeah, Pitbull did the freaking theme music. It's like, come on, I know Will Smith doesn't do a lot of rapping anymore. Not that he did a lot of rapping when he was a rapper, but come on, let Will Smith sing a damn theme song. That's again that was what sold that first movie was Will Smith going, here come the man
That was
in
the
black.
best part
Here come
of Wild
the
Wild
Men
West
in
was his
Black
song.
man.
Or
Wiki Wiki
because,
Wild West.
No, the
Wiki
best
Wiki
part of
Wild
Wild Wild West was the giant spider.
yeah, if they wanted to keep that connection in, they could have asked his wife to sing the theme song. She
They could
is
have
kind
done.
of the lead singer of the band.
No, the best part of Wild Wild West was the legless villain.
I loved the giant spider just because when I first saw it and I was like, okay, it's a western. And then it's a giant fucking spider. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's steampunk not done very well.
And then, and then again, when that happened, I'll admit there was a curious part of me that was like, okay, it's a giant shitty robot. I'm a Power Ranger fan. I'm going to enjoy this.
Exactly.
Oh.
There you go. You got to go to it. But yeah.
But yeah,
So
one of
yes.
the things about MIB that really pulled it was Will Smith doing the theme song.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree. It was it was pretty good, and he did that theme song for the second one, which wasn't as catchy, but still not bad. Nod your head, come on, nod your head. It worked, and I just think it felt like they rushed this thing out. Like they put a little thought in, like, okay, we want to have a little cool thing for the longtime MIB fans, so we'll put in that twist at the end about J and K. But we're gonna do that. We'll do a passing. Charlie knows doesn't have to do as much, and that's what we're gonna do. And it felt like they really kind of rushed it out to get it out there, and it didn't have that special MIB feel and ambiance that it had in the past. And that's just my feeling on the movie. That's why, of the movies this year that I actually saw that came out this year, that was my the one I had some issues with.
Okay,
Holy.
my one, I gave it to this because while I've seen worst films this year, no film pissed me off quite like this. The Dark Knight Rises. Oh my god. You've got Bane completely unable to actually understand what the hell he's saying. And I will say spoiler now, just for a second, because I know someone here doesn't want any spoilers because they're going to be watching the film. I will. Victor.
Oh, okay.
Which means when I finished, I will type below for him if he wanted to mute it or something like that. But yeah, basically at the end, they make the stupid cop Robin. They send every police officer in the city into the fucking subway. The film gets fucking unbelievably badly paced. As I believe I mentioned on the Showtime review, if that's up. I can't remember, but basically,
It's not. Neither is Spider-Man.
okay, but yeah, basically, the pacing and it's horrible. It's like, okay, in 5 months the bomb will explode, and then the very next scene, everything's carrying on, and you're believing it's still 5 months, and then you hear, yeah. So how about that bomb goes off in about 2 months, huh? And you're like, wait, what? Where was the last 3 months of my life gone? The whole film is just so badly done. But that was my one.
By the way, on a related note, Mr. Shadow, as you're over there, I believe you said you were going to post that review when the DVD came out, and yeah, it's out.
Yeah, I don't own The Dark Knight Rises yet.
Oh, so you were actually going to rent the DVD before you put the review up or buy it?
Buy it, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just waiting for it to be out so the review was relevant.
It's relevant if I'm reviewing the DVD.
Oh, you're going to review the actual DVD? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, but like I said, I'd done mine. But now it's the next category.
You should have respected our authority.
But the
You
next
will respect my authority, bitch.
Somebody
but
had
the
to
next
do that.
next category is worst video game, which I gave mine to Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. It was glitching, it was disappointing, it was bland, it was boring, it was just a bad game.
I gave mine to WWE 13. Enough said.
Hashtag I agree with Marcus Shadow. Enough said. But you know, with me, it's never enough said. So, I'm just gonna mention. Well, I agree the gameplay is good. I think the reversal system they put in is cool. I think they did improve a lot of things. The Attitude Era mode, very awesome. Seeing all the past stars. I think, basically, in no particular order, areas they dropped the ball that gave this game this award. Um, current existing roster superstars not on the disc. You know,
Well, they were, but then they were DLC.
yeah, well, horrible issues with the online where stuff couldn't be uploaded or downloaded properly, and they had all kinds of problems with the gameplay and whatnot. And they still
They
on
changed my
occasion got
finishing.
on occasion they've still got the problem with match disconnects where players get different endings of the match because they split for some unknown reason. Existing glitches in the game itself, not in the online portion, that have been there for years, like the better copy your tires before you do a moveset glitch if you don't want to erase your moveset inadvertently, and all the other. And now there's a new glitch where if you go into edit a tire, sometimes you can freeze your game. And it's like these are things that should have been fixed in a beta. And I know WWE forces you to rush it out on a yearly basis, but come on, THQ. This is kind of why you're bankrupt.
Yeah, they don't
Which
exist.
WWE didn't care about.
So yeah, well there you
Yeah,
go. So
like you said, the game
well,
the game is fun.
actually,
The core is good, but just so many glitches from day one. So many glitches that still exist. The art direction. They need to fire the art director. The art direction needs to overhaul because whoever decided on where they were going to go with the art direction this year, yeah, no, you fucked up, guys. I'm sorry, but no, what you did was horrible this year.
Molly.
also shout out to the shout out to the sound guys whom THQ was apparently too cheap to buy a fucking equalizer for.
Yeah, that too. Oh, don't even get me started on the sound. Actually, to address the mole, actually, that's one of the good things about this year's game.
I didn't say it out loud.
I know.
The audience have no idea what I was addressing.
He was
He's
referring
trying not
to
to say
the
it so you
goddamn
don't win.
thing, which actually
So you don't
works this
win.
year.
Yeah, so there you go. Because they've improved some stuff, but they broke a lot of other stuff, and there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of different things, and it's just it hurt the game a lot, and especially if they're jacking the price of the fan access and the DLC, then yeah, give us our money's worth, THQ. What the fuck? And
Technically, they did.
it
When they jacked the price, but it also has more content than ever before.
true.
With like how many
And,
belts you get, how many moves you get, and stuff.
yeah, but my question is, where is that money going? Because it was documented in an article with this whole thing coming out that THQ owes WWE $43 million.
Ouch. Well,
There's an
hopefully
article saying that
we'll do.
WWE said they're not concerned about whether they get the whole thing or not because their company is solid and they got they got money coming in for other stuff. But apparently THQ owes them something in the range of $43 million, presumably from the licensing.
Well, if THQ doesn't need it, they can give it to me.
Yeah, there you go.
WWE doesn't need it, they can give it to me. I'll put it
Yeah,
to good
exactly.
use.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, they can give it to us so we can actually get things done around here.
That too. But yeah, hopefully UbiQ will do better with WWE 14.
Wait, what?
Apparently, according to the mole, in the recent days here, Ubisoft has come out of nowhere and said, "Yeah, we're going to start buying up everything THQ owns."
Yeah,
Oh.
Ubisoft was one of the ones that have been trying to purchase THQ's assets.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Which I approve of.
I can agree with that. But didn't they release something terrible that was glitched to hell this year too?
Ubisoft? Yeah. Oh.
I don't know, but they released Zombie U, which is fucking awesome.
Tell it to Game Informer. They gave it a 5 out of 10.
They can kiss my ass.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, it's because
I-
Game Informer, like most of the video game reviewers who reviewed Zombie U, actually went in there expecting it to be basically Call of Duty zombie mode without realizing, hey, it's an actual survivor game, which means they're too stupid to realize it's a survivor game.
Probably
Seriously, look at the reviews. Most of the negative points is lack of weapons, lack of easy to kill zombies, lack of this, lack of that, which is all stuff from action games. This was just about surviving. That's all this was, and they did it brilliantly well and made perfect use of the gaming pad. Hence why I gave it my favorite game of the year award in our last video.
Yeah. Well, you can't tell, but I mean, you can't tell me these people don't know a good horror survival game. They gave it 8.5 to Resident Evil 6.
Oh.
What they were probably
Troll
expecting
face.
from Zombie U is they were probably expecting Left 4 Dead with a solid single player experience, which they didn't get because, as Mole said, they're stupid.
Yep. Yes.
Anyway, Mole, your worst game.
I already gave it. I read off
Yeah,
the.
his was first.
Oh, you went
Yeah,
first.
it's
I'm done.
Victor or Aeon.
Right.
Mine would have been RE6 if I had actually played it, but I just played the demo, which was god awful. Like I rage quit the demo. That's how bad it was. I was like, this is just unplayable. Like, but for actual game, I gave mine to a little PSN game that released a couple weeks ago called Page Chronica, where it's basically a platforming game where you have to spell things to to be able to attack or double jump and stuff. And I have a review up on my blog, but it was not fun. Like, it's way not fun.
It's basically a shitty version of Scribblenauts.
Scribblenauts is way better than this game.
As I said, this is a shitty version of Scribblenauts.
Kind of. Well, there's like letters that they give you, so you can only spell so much. You can't like actually put in whatever you want. It's not, you don't write them. There's letters like in the background that you can grab. But see, with Scribblenauts, you can still move, and as far as I remember, from what little I played, when you make something, as long as it's if it's something you write or whatever, it doesn't go away. Where in Page Chronica, when you spell something, you can only double jump for like 30 seconds, and I've had it drop in the middle of me going over a pit when I needed the double jump.
Because
it's
you
like,
failed
well,
to
great.
spell.
No, because it only does it for so long, and I have to keep an eye on that. But sometimes when you have lengthy platforming parts, you're not looking at that.
Yeah, that does sound much worse than Scribblenauts. I haven't played it. I just heard the thing you mentioned with how it was done. I was like, oh, that's Scribblenauts, a poor man's Scribblenauts.
Yeah, if you can get, I only played a little Scribblenauts, but it was way better than this game.
But no, it's a poor man's word autocorrect, but like squiggly line.
Scribblenauts is awesome. I own it. Hard as hell.
Nice. I didn't know you owned that. Nice.
I do on the DS. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
The original.
I haven't
Cool.
bought or demoed a new game from 2012. Although I am, in a way, kind of pissed at how fucking often Minecraft has been updating since it went to full release last year. Oh, fuck. We were stable on 1.0 for a few months. 1.1, that was okay for another few months. 1.25, stable. Then we have 1.3, 1.31, 1.32, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, and now 146.
You sank my battleship.
Oh, fuck you, Mole. I can understand when Minecraft was in alpha and beta, various constant updates as they found new bugs, fixed them, and whatnot. Hell, I bought Minecraft within the first couple of weeks of alpha 1.0. But release means you're meant to have killed off about 99% of your bugs in your software, and they're still fixing up bugs since it went to release version in December last year.
That's not true. Look at DCU.
That's an MMO. It's not the same thing.
Right
wait.
then.
Wait a second. Diablo 3 did release this year, didn't it?
It
Yep.
did.
Yeah. World of Diablo.
All right, Aeon. Well, that goes into your category next.
Hang on. What was your problems with World of Diablo?
Real money auction house used as bullshit excuse for DRM.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't played. I'll also throw out the fact that you couldn't fucking play it the first day.
Yeah, that's because everyone in their mutt was downloading and updating. Literally, everyone in their mutt was downloading and updating it.
They were connected to the server that they had to be connected to play.
I hate to say this. I really do hate to say this. Call of Duty didn't have that problem, and that's outsold it.
You'd
So,
love to say that.
no, the reason I'm saying that is, isn't it technically, because it's Activision, it's kind of the same company?
They're the
Activision
same
Blizzard.
parent company,
Yeah.
but Activision Blizzard is different to Activision, which is different to Blizzard. It's a parent company, but Activision and Blizzard as game developers are two totally different groups.
I know, but I was just thinking they had the money with Call of Duty. It launched, it outsold Diablo 3, unfortunately, because Diablo 3 would be more the genre I would rather was successful. However, the servers on Call of Duty were meant to be a lot more stable from day one.
Yeah, mind you, don't forget, Blizzard has good experience trying to do huge fucking patch updates and whatnot since they've been running World of Warcraft for 8 fucking years.
Fair enough. And didn't an expansion pack for that?
2004 is when it was released, and fucking Mr. Pandera was released this year as well.
I was about to say, didn't an expansion pack come out this year in which you get to play as a Kung Fu Panda?
Sweet.
Yeah, I was in the beta for that. It was okay, but the first about month or so in the beta was fucking hell. I can't do jack shit on here.
So what you're
But
saying?
that was in the beta last year, when everyone and their dog was trying to get as much of the Pandaren expansion as they could before it was officially released.
I know he's going to hate me for this, but so what you're saying is when it comes to playing as a panda, you can't bear it.
Wah wah.
I will fucking kill Jack Black.
Oh no, please don't stop the horror. Blah 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 blah
I'll
blah.
do the fucking jackal and kill Jack Black.
You're forgetting I don't like him in anything except Kung Fu Panda. Go ahead, kill him.
But moving on, Aeon.
Toys, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yes.
Worst
toy
toys.
release.
I already technically covered the show that these are from. Motherfucking Super Samurai toys. Ever since Disney took over, Bandai America has been making their own fucking molds for the toys and fucking everything up. Last series, they actually had toys that were the same molds as the Japanese, was fucking Wild Force. Fucking decade ago.
Yeah.
Over a decade ago and featured Decker. Huh, ironic.
Oh, there you go. Look at that now.
Over a decade ago.
Next.
I'll go next then. I gave mine to worst toy release. I gave mine to Furby technically. Well, it's not really Furby. It's all these toys that are coming out this year that require the use of an app to play with a toy. I'm sorry, that works for something like Skylanders as it's a video game thing. People know, okay, you need a video game. These are figures for the video game. These are toys. You're meant to buy toys and play with actual toys. You shouldn't be buying a Furby and then being unable to feed it because you don't have an iPod. Or you shouldn't be able to buy like sort of a toy and not be able to actually enjoy the toy without an app. Back in the day, when I was a youngling, or when I was a little Padawan, or whatever you want to call it, basically, we used to use a little app I like to call my imagination. It was brilliant. We used to team up stuff like Thundercats, Power Rangers. We just used to play like shit. We didn't need apps for that shit. No. Hell, our Power Rangers toys, the head used to flip round, for example, and you'd see like, oh look, it's Tommy and he's unmorphed. Doesn't matter that no one's going to buy this disguise as he's clearly wearing the Green Ranger suit, the neck down. Doesn't matter. We used our imagination. Nowadays, you need an app for your imagination. That's fucking shocking.
Imagination. There's an app for that.
Yeah, and I'm done with this rant.
What's more shocking is I work in retail and I've had people come in asking for those.
The Automorphs?
No. The
Imaginations?
No. I know.
Aisle
toys,
6.
Toys that require iPads to play with.
Oh, fuck me.
It's fucking horrible. I hate that.
Not specifically Furbies, but in general, they said the toys that you play with your iPad and whatever.
Yeah, that's what I said. My reward was for all of those toys, but I used Furby as the figurehead of those toys.
Yeah, those.
Or target of my missile of hate, whatever you want to call it. Just because he was the first one that really made me notice it. Because I have a Furby. I have an original Furby, an original Shelby, and an original Gizmo, friend of Furby. But yes, I had them from when I was younger. I went to a shop, I saw Furby, I'm like, cool, my little niece or nephew are going to love this stuff nowadays. I can share this with them. I lift him up, and I see his eyes are different, his face is a little different. Okay, he's a little different. Requires an app? What? Seriously, back in the day, you used to just shove your finger or any other object, no sexual jokes. It's a Furby, please. Respect for Furby. You used to stick any, like, cylinder-shaped object into his mouth, and he used to go, nom, 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 and used to eat it all down. Now you need an app to feed him and stuff. No, it's bullshit.
Technically speaking...
Hey, there's an app for that!
Yeah, well, technically speaking, they had a much simpler, totally digital version of that back in the day. It was called a Tamagotchi.
Digimon,
It just came with the app built in.
It did. But like you said, it came with the apps built in. Everything you needed was built in. That works. I don't mind stuff like that. It's just this. But yeah. Anyway, does someone else want to do theirs before I go into a Phoenix-like rant?
Sure, I can get mine out of the way.
Anyway, who's next?
For mine, I chose the Fall of Cybertron G2 Bruticus that was on Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon. And while the package is really cool, and I think it actually looks pretty cool, it's really the QC that hurt it. Where mine personally, one of my guys was missing half of his arm. So yeah, that was fun. And I've read a couple other people that they have like strained and cracked plastic. So like you could see like the stretch marks, when you do that for when you like put like the guns on and stuff. So just the QC on it was pretty bad, which was disappointing because considering it's a special release one, you think those would be a little bit better considering they're more limited, but that's what we get.
A third person or third party version of that would have been a lot better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have cost way too much, but yeah.
Mr. Phoenix.
Like I said, I don't buy a lot of toys per se. The only toy I have two options here. I'm pretty much gonna have to give it to this thing. I have this little it's a Power Ranger Samurai, Super Samurai Red Ranger action figure here. I guess he's the 4-inch figure. I haven't measured him, but it doesn't look like a terrible toy.
Your old 8-inch Mighty Morphin figures.
And it's number one. It's tiny, and I can see why it's kind of cool. I mean, it's got a spin sword. I mean, I think the Super Samurai jacket comes off. I'm not positive on that part. I could be wrong on that. And I mean, he's got some opposable positions. Whatever. It's a cool action figure for real little kids. But compared to what compared to the size figures we used to get back in the day. I mean, I think I still have somewhere, and I don't quite have it anymore, unless it's in a box somewhere in the attic. But somewhere I have one of those full size, like freaking foot tall gold Zeo Rangers with the moving arm action.
So that's Jason, which
Oh,
means
yeah.
that's Jason, which means he's in a peace conference in the attic.
Pretty much.
Oh, fuck you, Mole!
But anyway, so that's yeah. So it's a cool looking. I'm really using it because it's the only other toy I got. It's not necessarily a bad toy. I mean, for a little kid, I think it would be a cool toy. I don't think a collector would necessarily need these tiny little figures because there are larger ones available. And so I don't know. It doesn't have a price on it or anything. They didn't put like a barcode or anything on it like they would in a retail store. But I do know that I did see I believe it's this size figure. There's a full pack that gets you like all of them and like Sandra and Decker and a couple of like Moogers or something, and it's like $43. And like that seems a little expensive for these tiny little figures. Even if
Fair
there's a
enough.
lot of them. So yeah, like I said, it's an okay figure. I mean, for little kids, I think they'd have fun playing with it. Whatever if they got a couple of them. It's just for collectors, I don't think it's necessarily big on the whole collector thing. It's just not. I haven't opened it or anything, but it's
Wh-
just it's
Which
lackluster.
which kind of means you agree with Mr. Aeon over there when he said Bandai America make crap Power Ranger toys.
Yeah.
No, I said they're effective
You want
toys.
good
I
Power
just don't
Ranger
think for it.
toys? Get the Japanese.
I just don't think from the collector's perspective they're all that good. I mean, I think for American kids, I think they're they work. American kids
For the
unfortunately don't have very
collectors,
high
go
standards these days.
Japan.
To be
Yeah.
fair, American kids are fat and have really big, chubby little hands. They need bigger figures.
Yeah, well there you go. But yeah, it's an okay figure. It's not terrible. It's just it's a little lackluster when you kind of see it. So I think they it's a little underwhelming in terms of figures and whatnot.
Cool. Well, I don't have one. Um, didn't buy many toys this year. What little toys that I got, I liked. They were good. So yeah, moving on.
Fair enough.
Mr. Mole.
Okay, this one is the worst of our videos that we ourselves have done and have been in. Type dealy. This is the worst of our videos. This is the worst videos we have been in and ones that we ourselves have produced. I gave mine to the My Sonic comic review by me, which is it's a solo review by me over in the Comic Zone section. I gave it to that one because I really did love that thing. I loved the source material because I love Sonic the Hedgehog, as people know, as you can clearly see by some of the other videos I've done.
Doesn't need a story.
Yeah.
He runs past and gets rings and loops his way into your heart.
Yep, but yeah, like I said, I like Sonic. However, as I was doing this, there was loads of stuff I wanted to include and wanted to mention, like little things they did, like the little intro and stuff like that. But overall, I just felt it was becoming too long, so I ended up cutting it down. And when I cut it down, the video to what size it felt a little too dull or bland-ish, or not as passionate as it should have been, based on what the source material was. So I was just disappointed with how I myself performed that one.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
For mine, I gave it to our Power Rangers Turbo review. While the video is fine, though we had to watch that movie to review it, and that was the bad part.
Oh, yes.
That was torture.
Yeah.
And after how many times Power Rangers has been insulted during this review, sorry, James, you're off the Power Force.
Well, we're not done yet because I agree with Richter Hammer over there, but for different reasons. I gave it to both the movie reviews, but I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be the Turbo one because while the reviews were fun to film, they went longer than I wanted them to go, and B, the Turbo one specifically, that was just a tough one to record just because of the emotions behind it. It was, yeah, people were getting pissed off and whatnot. So yeah, that's why I gave it to that one.
Yeah, weren't the reviews like almost as long as the actual movies,
Yeah, pretty much.
which was hilarious.
Basically.
Yep, which means also the movies were too long.
Oh,
Well, not the first one, that's watchable.
fair enough.
Hmm.
Mr. Aeon.
Yeah. For our worst ones, at least that I was in, has to be the Turbo one. We were, again, so much suffering went into that one.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Power Rangers Turbo one was the only other video you've been in.
I was in the Mighty Morphin one as well.
I know, but they were filmed at the same time, back to back.
Yeah, good point.
Jim.
Honestly, I gave it to pretty much any of my Raw reviews from before we became the X Pound from the Wrestling X Pound. Because honestly, while those reviews were informative, I would say I know from both my own experience kind of watching them and from what I've been told from others that they were boring as shit. And I do
You?
apologize.
You? No, Jim, no.
Shut up. But yes,
Shut up, your face.
I know they were kind of long-winded and boring without these guys to break up the monotony. So I know those were not exactly the best, which is why I think my newer format at Rise from the Airwaves where I had the TV and I'm reviewing and I'm a little more focused on what's going on. I think are much better reviews. So
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to come to your defense. Your reviews may have only been bad in part, to be fair, with the Raw ones, because what did you give the worst TV show to? Raw. Why? Because Raw's been boring and monotonous.
there's logic in what you're saying. But yes, those reviews.
Yep.
I think I'm doing a lot better with the Rise from the Airwaves reviews. I'm also giving a runner up to my personal interest review for not existing yet. Because
Next, please.
I've only been talking about it for like 6 months and I haven't done that yet. There will be a Christmas episode. It will, by the grace of God, be up before Christmas.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You've only been speaking about the person of interest to us. It's not like you filmed a video inviting people to join you, and I don't know, Marcus, Shadow, and Richter would then respond to it, promising an entire month dedicated to a certain TV show or something like that, and then fail to produce it. That'd just be bad.
It would be bad. I agree, and it would be even worse if
don't
that was
forget,
not
some
the
of us.
fault. That would even be worse if it was not the fault of the host of the show because the people who are supposed to co-host it with them didn't actually find the time to watch the fucking show so they could be prepared for the review.
Yeah. And that remindeth me of something I've got planned to do. But
If you're doing Voyager, you can't do it until after we're done.
Gonna have to wait until someone else is finished with next gen.
Yep.
We gotta finish with the next gen, then somebody's got to do DS9, and then you can do Voyager.
Jim, moving on.
Okay, so we're moving along.
That's your cue.
So we're moving on. We're moving on to the worst actor for the year here. And again, I have not seen very many movies or TV shows thus far for the year. So again, another difficult award for me to bequeath out. I'm actually I'm actually going to give it to God. I don't remember the act. I don't remember the actor's name, but I'm giving it to
Great start.
Jason Neville in Revolution, aka Najee. Because honestly, I'm sorry that dude can't act. I mean, with all due respect, he's better than the real Najee, but not by much.
Really?
Sorry, Najee, the teachers are listening. I'm sorry. That was not your fault. Kevin was a terribly written character. That was not you.
Fair enough.
It's not you. It was me.
Oh,
Yes, and also, and I said I apologize to the actor for Revolution's name. I can't remember. You're like I said, your character's a little one-dimensional. Like, oh, okay, so he's Tom Neville's son, and he's kind of got some feelings for the hot chick. Okay, I guess that's something, but you're just kind of boring. Sorry.
and I'll go next, as I already touched upon this slightly earlier. I give my award to Sean Connery as Bane. Sorry, Tom Hardy as Bane.
Fuck.
Can I give it to Craig? Can I give a runner-up to Craig Ferguson for doing an impression of Sean Connery as Gandalf while talking to his skeleton Jeff, who's doing an impression of Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf? That was hilarious.
I would just like to say hashtag I agree with the mole.
See, I only mentioned a little bit. You may go further onto it, Marcus.
You already said.
Hashtag I don't give a flying fuck.
You already said what needed to be said. He sounded like Sean Connery. His voice was muffled. You couldn't understand him. Yeah, but it was terrible. Granted, I understand that's not entirely Tom Hardy's fault, but hey, dude, you agreed to do it, so yeah, you get all the blame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least he's not doing
He did, but there's
voice.
he did, but there's a good chance that he and his agent signed that contract before they told him exactly what his voice was going to sound like.
Fair enough.
Okay.
It's possible not, because the first trailer where they did the voice, it had to be redubbed because it was a horrible voice, and I'm like, what the hell? It was even worse than what we had. Really?
Mm.
Well, at least he's not saying he's smoking 20 packs a day.
Yeah. It's a pretty sad turn of events when people have said they're preferring the Bane from Batman and Robin.
I am. I prefer him.
But wasn't that Bane basically dead silent?
Yeah.
He never spoke?
He grunted and he screamed when he got his venom tube kicked out of his head. That was about it.
I'm sorry, but never speaking is much better than speaking like Sean Connery or in a voice we cannot understand at all.
I believe I won't reference the source to this on the air, but somebody pointed out that basically a key Bane impression is basically you do Sean Connery to start, then you do Sean Connery as if he's turning into Adam Sandler doing that annoying voice he does, and then you muffle it with your hand, and that's Bane.
Yeah.
Hello there, I'm Sean Connery. I'm Sean Connery turning into Adam Sandler. I'm Bane. See?
True. And Mr. Hammer.
I didn't really have one because I don't know, most stuff I'd seen the actors were fine. Nobody stuck out as bad for me, at least in stuff that was this year.
Go Jaden and Samurai.
I haven't seen Super Samurai though.
Ooh.
That's
It's
not
on Netflix.
yet.
It's on
Is it?
Netflix here.
Oh, I didn't see
Fuck
Super there.
It's on Netflix
I got
here,
quick
and since
flick
how
bitches.
it's on Netflix here, and based on how delayed we get our stuff from you after Netflix, it should have aired. It should be on Netflix there.
It should. I don't know. It wasn't there last I looked, which was a couple months ago.
Although then again,
Well, I don't-
you also
I don't-
have it
I don't
air on
think-
TV first.
I think they haven't put it on Netflix yet because they're trying to sell the Blu-ray of the full season and the DVDs.
Oh,
Well, it
that's
just
not out
finished,
here.
right? They only do it when it's at least for. I know because for Prime season 2, they specifically waited till it was done, so they might have done that with Samurai, and I think that recently ended too, didn't it? Super Samurai, sorry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, it ended here soon, and we don't. And like Mr. Phoenix pointed out, we don't have DVDs or Blu-ray of that stuff over here
Right.
because you have taste.
Speaking of Super Samurai, let's end this horrible train wreck of a review, and go with Worst Actress. And my Worst Actress of 2012, didn't want to have to do it, but Brittany Purtle, the Yellow Ranger.
Ouch.
I mean, they all got better by the end of Super Samurai. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Super Samurai, but Mr. Phoenix was very gracious to show a couple episodes, and yeah, they got better, but man, Brittany Purtle was painful throughout most regular First Samurai. Like, ooh, shiny.
Emily.
No, it's no. And then just the way she portrayed the character. I don't know how much of that was her doing or, like what the director told her to do, but it was just painful. Almost as painful as
And
not.
that was Emily, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes.
I liked
Yeah.
her.
I did not like,
Uh,
primarily because they didn't give her a personality. She was so one-dimensional. It was painful to watch. At least the
So
other
were all the
characters were
characters.
three-dimensional.
So were all the characters.
Not really. She was the
Especially,
most one-dimensional of all the characters.
especially Jaden.
Hey, she had a
Jaden
good
was a
character
bad
arc. She wasn't even
clone.
supposed to be there. She was there because her sick sister couldn't go. That was her thing.
Yeah,
In all fairness, we
hey,
saw her turn into a drill sergeant. That was quite a bit of personality.
I didn't see
yeah,
that episode, but yeah.
It was
yeah. One thing to
hilarious.
remember: all of the samurai ranger characters, except for Antonio, were basically clones of their Shinkenger counterparts.
Oh, Antonio was a clone of Genta, trust me.
Yeah, but he wasn't a full proper clone like
True.
the others were.
No, he was more annoying and ruined the show for even more for me. And God, what the hell's up with that gold shiny? Ooh, his attire. It doesn't look like a Power Ranger costume. It looks like a gay Halloween party's version of a Power Ranger costume. Like, oh, look at me, I'm a disco ball. Come over here, fellas.
Yeah,
You
that's one of
talking
the
about the
that
Mega
It's
Mode?
morphing time.
that's ironically a point where you could give Saban props because when he morphs into Mega Mode, because the Mega Mode costumes are American made, it switches from that horrible blue and gold to a black and gold that looks 10 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the
I
black
like
gold.
Antonio's Mega Mode. I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah, that looks freaking
Mega
awesome.
Mode.
Fantastico.
Oh fuck.
You
Let me try and find that quote about Mega
do
Mode.
that. In the meantime, who wants to go next?
Not me. I don't have one.
I'll go next just because I know James will probably want to end the review and he can segue from his choice to the end.
Fair enough.
My one, I gave worst actress this year to Miley Cyrus from Two and a Half Men. She was only in 2 episodes of it, and like I said, basically Two and a Half Men. It's not a good show. I watch it more out of habit. However, it has
Eh,
been better since Ashton came in than the later years when Charlie was there shaking his head and all high on drugs. But obviously the earlier series with Charlie were better. However, Miley came on the scene. She started to just talk really, really fast. Like, hello, I'm Miley Cyrus. It was so fucking irritating and so annoying, and her character was just so obnoxious. Doing stuff like, oh, I can manipulate people because I am the people whisperer. It's like, no, stop that now.
He is Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer.
Fair enough. Aeon, your worst actress of the year.
fuck.
Do 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 do
Do, do,
do
do,
do
do,
do.
do, 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 do,
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck.
do, do,
You don't have one?
Pretty much.
do.
All right, James, take us out.
Alrighty, fair enough. Um, Honestly, my worst actress. It was hard to find one because again, I don't watch much, and most of the actors that I've seen in most of these shows are actually pretty good. Um, my initial choice is I don't know the actress's name. It was a minor role, but the actress who plays the wife of Major Tom Neville in again Revolution. Um, I don't. It's a bit part, so there's not much to it. She's just a wife. At one point she got held hostage and this and that. But spoilers. Sorry, Marcus. But that's about it's she just kind of bland. I mean, I guess she kind of portrayed that she loved him, but it was just kind of a bland part, and so it didn't work very well for her. Um, but I would like to for the benefit of 2012, for the benefit of some real life, I would also in terms of worst actress, I'd also like to give a runner up to Catherine Duchess of Cambridge for failing to act like fucking royalty.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, you're royalty. You don't get to go topless sunbathing anymore. No.
Hey,
Ouch.
Wow, you're a prude.
hey, if you've got it, flaunt it.
No, I'm just I agree. I agree. I'm just saying if it's gonna make your entire family look bad, especially when your husband is actually trying to protect you because his mother got killed because of goddamn paparazzo. Yeah,
Paparazzi.
whatever.
Mm,
I,
depending on
I I'm
how
just
you use it.
yeah. It's I'm just saying. I think that it's easy much better now. I'm just saying it took her a little time to get adjusted to the whole role, and that didn't exactly look good for the royal family.
So you hated seeing a woman's breasts. I want to make an asexual rant, but this is taking too long. You may take us out.
I would just like to point out, Jim, how ironic it is that your best TV show of the year is Revolution, yet your worst actor and actress both came from that show.
I know that's the bad thing about that. It's a
It's because
great
that's all he's
show.
watched.
Exactly. I haven't watched much. I watched that. I watched Person of Interest. I watched Elementary, and I watched freaking Raw and SmackDown. And occasionally SmackDown. That's about it.
Wait, you've seen
Sadly, I haven't.
Elementary, and yet you're not giving the worst actor to the to someone from that show?
Well, as you
Contrary to
yourself
most
said,
earlier,
they were getting better by the end.
contrary to most earlier rant, I like that show.
And you like Revolution, but that didn't stop you from giving the worst actor
I
and
know,
actress
but
show.
I understand, but there's almost no characters in Elementary. It's Sherlock, it's Watson, the police chief dude, that one other cop, and that's about it.
Time out.
Nobody.
Time out. It's not Sherlock and it's not Watson. The way they've portrayed him is not Sherlock and not Watson.
Well, that's what they're
Sherlock
calling them, so
Holmes.
that's what I'm going with.
It's
But anyway,
Sherson and Watlock.
yeah. But anyway,
Oh!
yeah, those are pretty much the only four recurring characters from episode to episode, and honestly, I think Lucy Liu does a good job with the character she's been given. It's just a matter of, I don't know. And I think she does an okay job with the character she's being given, even if it's not the best character in the world. And she's like pretty much the only recurring female actress on that show. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of options for me to pick. So I'm end up going with that. So yeah.
Fair enough. Take us out.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Also, second runner-up to Vicky Guerrero for failing to act like a human being in this last feud.
I think
Sorry, the replay of Raw is on Universal TV on my TV right now. Anyway, with that said, this has been our worst of the year awards for 2012.
Do you want to tell our
And
next one where we talk about the middle, the stuff we thought was okay, neither bad nor good?
That'll be funny, but no, we're not going.
No way in
Uh,
hell are we going
Year.
to a third part. There's no
Yeah.
review we've done that's done a third part from a two-parter. At least not that I've been in yet.
Power Rangers, that was 4 parts.
It was two-parters.
It was the movies, it was the TV shows, and it was also the future of the franchise, and then there was also a video game one. It was 5 parts.
Mm.
And anyway,
I think in the movie is 1, but anyway.
thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, so thank everybody. Thank you for joining us for our year review awards. It's after the 21st. We're still alive, so I presume that means we'll be here next year for the 2013 year in review awards. We will see you then. Thank you to everyone for joining me, Marcus Shadow of Showtime.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned for his impending reviews of The Dark Knight Rises, Amazing Spider-Man, etc., etc. They will be coming up. Chris, aka the Mole of the Gaming Zone and the Comic Zone.
See ya.
I don't know what reviews you have coming up if you want to hawk anything real quick.
Nah, I'm sure they've already seen my other reviews. They know what's coming up.
More Wii U stuff to
Yeah.
come, people.
More Wii U games, yeah, pretty much.
And PS3 stuff.
Yep.
Okay. And part-time stay-at-home dad gamer Richter Hammer. Thank you for joining us.
Sometimes at a home dad gamer, so if the initials stay the same, he needs to keep the business cards.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point. Okay, sometimes at home dad gamer.
Yeah, those
So-
aren't cheap.
Yeah. So is that gamer Richter Hammer? Thank you. Anything you want to promote? Anything coming up?
No, I'm good.
No. Hopefully, we're gonna get some more reviews coming in the new year.
Oh yeah.
To Aeon, thank you for joining us for this little year interview. Did you want to promote your upcoming? I know you're working on several things.
I've got a few things in the pipelines. You may be able to follow me at El Nero Diablo on Tumblr or DeviantArt. And final word, we had the 2 movies plus the future Power Rangers, 6 parts altogether.
Yeah, it was big. That's why it took a while to come out. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
That's what she said to me after I finished fucking her.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, fuck you.
That I'm James Phoenix, CEO of the X-Pound. It's been a good year, guys. Stay tuned for all those great upcoming reviews. My Christmas special is forthcoming. It'll be up in the next day or two, so check that out. And we will see you starting next year for all kinds of wonderful stuff. I'll have Person of Interest coming eventually. Eventually, there'll be some Star Trek: The Next Generation reviews and other great television-related stuff for everybody else.
Well, if you're going by that, eventually I'll be reviewing the PS4.
Yeah, well.
Good night, everybody.
But I digress. We'll see you guys we'll stay tuned for my Christmas special, and we'll see you guys in 2013. Have a good night, everybody.
Where we will once again rise from the ashes.
I will
And
now
take
rise
Christmas
from the
time.
ashes. Don't call me pretentious.
We will once again rise from the ashes into the light to feel the momentum as we bring the hammer down for Henshin.
Yes.
As we travel
I like that.
time.